Oh, man. I was talking to myself for like 15 minutes. Thank you, Reyes, for letting me know. I had to put this on screen. Okay, that's fun. Okay, to recap everything that nobody heard, thank you for sticking around with the no audio, and shout out Reyes, let me know. My apologies, not normally here by myself. So, Colorado, Dallas, two good offensive teams, also two good defensive teams. I think my summary there was maybe just skip it on a slate this big. In terms of milestones, though, McCarr and Drouin both sitting at 99 career goals. I think McCarr's been there for a while. And another thing, for those who've been watching over the last few weeks, these stats have been updated. They were year to date. They are now last 30 days for the player and goalie stats, and also all the team stats, except for shots against by position, which is specifically the last 10. Approximately. We'll tweak this to make sure this is about 13 games for most, or 13, about 10 games for most players. So, but it is the last 30 days as of now. Gives us a bit better of a sample when we're looking at recent data as opposed to year to date. We don't switch back and forth for the site. So for this one, Florida, second most shots for over the last 30 days. The Ducks, fifth most shots against, fourth most in terms of centers, and second most to defensemen. And they are also got the 10th most goals. In terms of goaltenders for this game, no information on the Ducks side. Spencer Knight confirmed for the Panthers. Okay, let's see if anything jumps up on the props side of things. So first up, Spencer Knight is at 21.5 saves. Seems a little low. And is putting up 26.6 on average, 2.42 goals for on average. So that's going to put them 24 shots. We've also got Panthers allowing 28.5 shots per game. So that's an interesting one. Something to consider. 21.5 probably leading to the over, as that minus 122 suggests. In terms of shots and points, let's see if anybody stands out. I know a lot of people on the Kachuk brothers. That's a fun one. Brady already in place. You can't do too much with that. And I guess nobody heard these announcements. If you have a play you like, if you have a question, a comment, anything, feel free to pop it in the chat. We want to keep this interactive as possible. And being that it's just me today, I don't have anything to, I don't have anyone to throw things off of. So if you're here watching, please jump in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. In terms of props here, we're going to go last 10. Just like through here. What did we say? We got Reyes saying he took Barkov shots. Okay, I like it. Let's take a look at that one. It's a good matchup for centers. Barkov. This is attempts. Attempts are a little low. Okay. Good matchup. Dave Halbrecht, duck hunting. Absolutely. That's what we're looking to do here. So I think anybody on Florida is going to be potentially in play for shots, for points, all that fun stuff. But nobody standing out over the last 13 games. Florida kind of struggling. Okay, Dave says Forsling over 2.5 shots. Let's take a look at that one. And do we still have Ekblad out? Let's see what. Ekblad, is he on IR? He missed a few, right? No, he's still day to day. Okay. At any rate, Forsling, D pair 1. Don't have him on power play 1. Interesting. It's a great shutdown teammate, too. Okay. Stuff Forsling. Oh, and Reyes said he's looking at Carter, so we'll go for Hagee in a second as well. Gustav Forsling, head-to-head, 50%. His last 10, he's hit it 70%. The volume is there. Yeah, I'm going to write this one down. This. Forsling over 2.5 shots plus 106. That price is at FanDuel. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like that one. Good call, Dave. Now we're going to go to Carter Verhaeghe, and then we'll look at some of Dave's point combos. So he said Carter Verhaeghe. Tremendous history. 5-6. He's hit in 6 of his last 10. Yeah, I don't mind that one at all. Nice little parlay piece. Now we have for Dave Reinhardt and Barkov 2 points each. Okay. Go with this Reinhardt. Okay. I don't mind that. That's gonna pay a good amount, I would imagine. And you're picking the right team to target. And then same thing for the power play. Anaheim allowing the 10th most power play opportunities against, 26th worst PK. So yeah, that's a power play points. Definitely a good thing to target. Verhaeghe, where's he playing? He is on the third line. You are correct, Dave. You are correct. Third line. Deep team for sure. Okay, I think Forsling is probably the one that's stepping out the most for me. I'm actually going to write down the Spencer Knight one. Spencer Knight, I think, is interesting. Don't know if I'll be playing it. This is just research at this point. Knight over 21.5 minus 122. Oh, and we can actually get. This is an interesting one. I'm not sure how Prop Stock Cash picks it. So yeah, the default line that they're showing 21.5, but we also see we can get 20.5 at BetMGM for only 8 more points, which is, if I was going to play the over, probably would just lean and do that. Slight premium knockoff save, but you have some flexibility there. So keep an eye on that. I've definitely missed that a few times. We have different lines. Okay, so Knight over 20.5 at minus 130 MGM. That's going to be enough as well. We have Sam Bennett looking okay. All right, let's take a look at Bennett. Coming off a 7-shot game, and he's either getting 8+ attempts or 3 attempts. If he gets the 8, definitely have to love it. Cool. Head-to-head. I think that's what Reyes might be highlighting here. That is interesting. Second line center. We know the Ducks are not good against centers. He's got a tremendous history in terms of home versus away. So co-host Spitton would not be happy if I didn't take a look at this. In terms of home versus away, what are we looking at? 59% at home, 55% away. Slightly better at home, which is where he is tonight. Yeah, I'm going to write this one down too. That's a good call, Reyes. Dave also liking it. All right, Bennett over 2.5. Minus 114. That line was at FanDuel. Minus 120 at a lot of other places as well. Dave. Ducks season ticket holder. Okay, so Dave knows the team well. He thinks Florida is going to come out firing today. Oh, and he's got a couple fun ones here. We'll just throw these up on screen. So Dave's got a couple. If you're a parlay person, Dave's got a couple of plays that he likes. I mean, can't go wrong taking Reinhardt to score. Matthews and Leon. We'll look at them when we get to those games, but stud goal scorers. And then Barkov assist, McKinnon 2-point, and McDavid 2-point. Okay. I like that. Those are fun. Definitely two guys who can get 2 points. Let's take a look at McDavid. I believe he's playing with Leon at this point. So, okay, I've got 3 plays circled here that I kind of like. Forsling over 2.5 shots, plus 106. Spencer Knight over 20.5 saves. Bennett over 2.5 shots. I think that's good for this game. Let's move on. We don't want this to take forever. There's still a ton of games. Next up, we got the Maple Leafs at the Canadiens. The Leafs are 6-4-0 in their last 10. Montreal 8-1-1 on a 2-game winning streak. Montreal 6th most goals for over the last 30 days. Everything else, and they're not giving up goals. They're not giving up goals. I'm not worried about that. What that means for Matthews, by the way, but not giving up goals on the whole. They are giving up a ton of power plays, 2nd most. PK's holding up. And then outside of that, everything else looks pretty mid. Let's take a look at some goalies. Take a look at some lines. We'll go from there. Tavares still out, I would assume. Joseph Wall likely. Sam Montembeault confirmed for the Canadiens. Slightly worse of the 2 goaltenders they've been playing as of late. So, for what that's worth, Dobe's been very, very good. All right, Dave. Dave likes a lot in this one. Love it. Marner, Suzuki Apples, Matthews, Caulfield shots and goal. Pacioretty goal. Willie over 2.5 shots. Okay, we got a lot to get to. Let's take a look. Okay. Nylander over 2.5. I would assume that is either you got it a little bit earlier, or you might be playing it as a parlay piece. At any rate, guy loves playing the Canadiens. 100% hit rate. 7 or more attempts in every game versus them over the last 3 years. Hitting 60% in his last 10. A little bit of a skid, but 4 in his last game, so that's nice. Oh, I'm looking at home. Whoopsies. There we go. Still 77% versus Canadiens. That's huge. Great parlay piece for sure. We have Matthews. We'll take a quick look at. Now, Matthews, this one you can play straight, minus 114. 55% versus the Canadiens. His last 10, struggling a little bit, although it's really his last 7. So he had some time away. The attempts are slowly creeping up. It's really that history of Montreal that quite like 3 or more in 8 of his last 10. Super nice. And you're getting a good price, right? Minus 114. Okay, we will get to Wall in a second. Good call. Caulfield, 3 shots is the last one. Okay. Yeah, that's a fun one. I like this. So that's Willie 3, Caulfield 3, Matthews 4. Yeah, you can see some fireworks in this game. Number-wise, I will say Canadians not allowing a ton of shots, but these two teams know each other very well. It's like when they say in football, you kind of throw out some of the numbers in a divisional game, when teams play within their own division. I feel like it's kind of the same thing here. I would expect the Leafs to be a little bit better, beat this number here. The Leafs are giving up a ton of shots, though. So if you wanted to play that, yeah, 100%. Now, we said Marner and Suzuki assists. So let's take a quick look at that. There's lots in this one you can play. Mitch Marner. So this was a parlay. So Marner, 75% of his games versus Montreal, he has an assist. He's also got them in 7 of his last 10. Playing with Matthews and who's their other winger? Nyes is back there. Okay, perfect. And then Nylander, Domi, McCann as your second line with no Tavares. Yeah, a lot of PPs, absolutely. See being feisty. Okay, we wanted to check Wall, and we're going to check Suzuki real quick for his assist. There it is. Oh, you could just play this one straight, plus 105. Really good history versus the Leafs, 62%. He's also got one in 6 of his last 10, coming off a 2-assist game versus Dallas. This is an interesting one. I'm going to write this one down for sure. Just playing this one straight. He's playing with Caulfield and Slavkovsky, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, solid top line there. Okay, I'm going to write this one down. Suzuki assist plus 105. It's a nice number. That's at NGN. I agree, Kevin. I agree. I was not expecting that, to be honest. Okay. Nice goal and Slavkovsky will be a crazy price. That would be a fun one. We did say, you did say Pacioretty. Let's take a quick look at him. Nice little revenge game. It's plus 550. This is more for the narrative stats. I don't know if that backs it up, but definitely a fun one for sure. Where is he playing? Is he fourth line? No, third line. Okay, there you go. Kevin saying McMahon shots. Okay, let's take a quick look at that one. And then we gotta do wall saves. Reyes was saying. Okay, Bobby McMahon, 2.5 plus 148. He's going to be on that second line. So he's going to get some good opportunity there. You're getting a really good number at that. How's his attempts? He's got some attempts, some games where he's getting enough, but I'd really like to see a number closer to 5. If you bet some over 2.5. But that being said, you're getting almost plus 150 on it. So I get it. Dave thought Pacioretty was going to be on line 2. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. This is confirmed lines from that they ran in practice today. So there we go. Yeah, Domi's definitely not a shooter. So there you go. All right, let's check wall saves and then see. Is there anything else we didn't cover outside of wall? Oh, and then I wrote down, we got both lines for both of them. Interesting. Yeah, so Leafs are giving up a little bit over 3 goals a game, or 3 goals exactly, but Wall 3.13. So I like that for a Suzuki assist. Do Canadians at home. Okay. In terms of goalie saves, 24.5. Yeah, it seems like I feel like this line makes sense. 24.5 is a good number. Yeah, 23, 24, 23, and then wow. Yeah, I would not play that one unless anybody else has a strong take. Now, Wall was the one that was specifically mentioned here. His number's 22.5. He's been over this in 7 of his last 10. The last 2 games, he was under, though. Oh, guess which one I played in? Dallas. That's fun. Now, the Leafs are giving up 28.6. The Canadians on average 28.3. Dave's going some crazy parlays. Look at this one. Matthews, Marner, Suzuki, Caulfield, all 2 points. I mean, hey, if I can see it, I can see it happening. I can see it happening. Absolutely. It's a fun one. Leave that one up on screen there. Now, for wall saves, let's assume they're going to get 28.3. They're going to score 3.3, which kind of checks out. That's going to put them right at 25 if everything comes down to in numbers, which I don't know that it would. So that means his line should be at 24.5. We're getting 22.5. It's another interesting one. Well, oh, right. My own tip that I'm not listening. 22.5, the default line that they're showing, but you have options. Over here. So we got the bet MGM line. Yeah. And Reyes, I'm assuming, yeah, you're going over based on that price. I think that's a good look too. So here we go. Click this. 21.5. Numbers suggest it should be maybe closer to 24.5, at least based on their recent performance. I'm gonna write that one down for sure. Yeah. Or that they don't. Yeah, I mean, he does have a bit of an injury history, but also I don't want them to get like blown out at the beginning of the third period like they did in Dallas. Dallas had like 5 shots in the third. That was brutal. He was way on pace. Yeah, that's why you play under sometimes, though. So Wall over 21.5 saves, minus 130. That's at a jam. I'm going to write that one down. So the 2 plays that I'm taking away, and for me, I guess for those who don't know, I'm more of a straights better. So I don't do a ton of parlays. They are very fun. Don't get me wrong. So I'm not writing those ones down. I will highlight them, though. I think that they're very fun, and I know a lot of people like them. But I'm writing down Suzuki assist. I think that's a great look, especially plus 105. And Wall over 21.5 saves, minus 130. I think that one might be a good one as well. If anybody has anything else they really, really like in this one, drop it in the chat. Otherwise, we can keep it moving. Seeing nothing. I think we covered a lot. So all right. Just for you, Dave. Just for you. Matthews, Willie. Okay. I'll write it down. Score, Willie, and Cole. 3. Okay. I'll play with you. Let's do it. Have a little fun. Okay. Let's keep going. Next up, we've got the Red Wings at the Lightning. Red Wings, the highest scoring team over the last 30 days, 4.1 goals for per game. Tampa's right in the middle of the league in terms of goals for and against, 18 and 16 respectively. Tampa's also shooting a ton and giving up a ton of shots, 30.2 for both numbers, 5 and 6 in the league. We got our resident Red Wings fan, Waggy, here. Let's go. What's going on, Waggy? He watches them very, very closely, so he'll have some good insight for us. So the Red Wings not shooting a ton, not giving up a ton of shots, but the Lightning are shooting and giving up a ton of shots. So that's interesting. Lightning particularly bad to wingers. So let's take a look at some wingers for shots. Kane to Brinkett, they get it done. Detroit is particularly bad against defense. I don't know how much that will matter. Detroit's also getting the most power play opportunities for, and they're hitting at a 50% clip. With that being said, Tampa is not giving up a ton of power plays, 25th in the league, and they have the second best penalty kill. So that's interesting. Okay, Reyes saying to Tampa Bay goalie over. That's interesting. We'll take a look there. And Waggy saying Patty Kane point minus 125 earlier. Interesting. Let's jump into some of these. And Hagel is shooting a ton too. I know people have been on Hagel as well, so make sure we look at him. In terms of goaltenders, do we have listed? Yes, so it'll be Cam Talbot, Andre Vasilevsky, and Braden Point shots, says Kevin. So we'll take a look at that as well. Okay, so we'll finish with the goalie stuff. I like doing that last. So Hagel was the first one, or one of the ones that I said. He's up here. Guy is shooting like crazy over his last, 7 games? He's coming off a 10 attempt game. He had a 9 attempt game at Pittsburgh. He had a 16 attempt game at Boston, and then a couple 6s as well. Not the best history versus the Wings, so that's interesting. Okay. But hitting 7 of the last 10, it's almost only minus 125. I don't know if the matchup's super tremendous, so we'll see. We'll see. And then what did we say? Wingers. So Kane and DeBrincat. Kane, I would not take for shots. The volume's not there, which means he's probably going to hit. And DeBrincat looks like it's going to be the same story. Pretty nice history, though. Pretty nice history, plus 110. And then we also said Kane point. That one. What's the price now? It's still minus 125 at MGM, so you can still get that number, it looks like. Yeah, he's over it. 8 of his last 10. You're right. That's minus 120 on FanDuel, so it's even better than what Waggy's saying, actually. Minus 120 number at FanDuel. Yeah, that's interesting. And how is he on the road? So home 50%, slightly worse on the road, slightly, but minus 120. Okay, we'll write that one down, and then what we got to look at. We'll see the comment about Hagel. Did his number jump? Let's take a quick look at that too. Okay, so I'm going to write down Kane point as a potential play. Kane point minus 120. Vasilevsky seems like he's been pretty good, but that's a good price for a player who's playing super well. And that's at FanDuel. Okay. It's Braden Point. Oh, okay. Kevin's got a lot for us. So let's go. Kevin's got Braden Point, shots on goal. Let's take a quick look at that. Shout out Braden Point. He's on the fantasy team. Coming off a 3-shot game, 6 attempts. So had none. Pittsburgh. Then he was benched for a game for missing the team meeting. And so we look at home hit rate, 72%. 30% on the road. He is at home. So that makes a big difference. Plus 108 on FanDuel. And then I have Detroit 15th against centers in the last 10 games. Kevin saying got plus 105. That's a good number. Okay, I'm going to write this one down as well. And what's his goal? Plus 125 for his goal. Wow. Okay, interesting. Yeah. All right, let's write that one down. Braden Point over 2.5 shots. Plus 108 on FanDuel's the best available price. Good luck. Kevin also saying Hagel is 150. He was just at minus 105. Are you talking for shots or for point? No, points. No, it's got to be shots. Did this jump up? Minus 140 on MGM. Interesting. That's an interesting one. I don't know how many Tampa props I'd want to play, though. The Wings are, 27.1 shots is not nothing. I'm going to rate Hagel down, too. Recent performance is way too good. Best price there, FanDuel. Okay. So 3 I've written down so far. Kane point at minus 120. Braden Point over 2.5 shots, plus 108. And Hagel over 2.5 shots, minus 125. Now, Reyes also said Tampa Bay goalie over. If there's anything else in this game on the player side you want to take a look at, drop it in the chat now. We will circle back to it. Okay, let's take a look. So Cam Talbot. So this one's 26.5 saves for Cam Talbot. They are averaging 27 shots against. Tampa's also averaging 30 shots for. Interesting. Okay. It doesn't jump. It's not screaming like a crazy good line. I don't know. I don't know how it feels. And Vasilevsky, you can get him at 21.5 or 22.5 for this same price, which is interesting. So let's say 21.5. Now, 21.5. We got to assume that they get their 26 shots. Maybe we'll bump it up to 27, 28. Is there? Oh, okay. He's averaging 26.8 saves per game. Yeah, I think there's value here. I do. All right. Good luck, Reyes. I'm going to write this one down as well. All right. So whittle these down. This is way too many plays. So Vassy over 21.5 saves at minus 130. That was on MGM. That's an interesting one as well. Okay, let's keep it moving. Next up, Columbus Blue Jackets taking on the Rangers. Blue Jackets, third most goals for over the last 30 days. Oh, Reyes got him at minus 115. Much better number. Well done. I like that. Much better. Okay, so Columbus, third most goals for over the last 30. Rangers also scoring sixth most goals for. Rangers allowing a ton, fourth most per game, 3.5 per game. Rangers shooting a ton. Lots of stats that are kind of middling for the Blue Jackets. And Rangers allowing a fair amount of shots as well, 28.8 over the last 30 days, which is 10th worst. Let's take a look here at Columbus versus New York. It looks like we have our goalies. So it's Tarasov for the Jackets. It's Igor for the Rangers. So we'll come back to those, see if anything stands out. Now, in terms of shots or points, like Columbus points, who's going to get points on Columbus? Is Adam Fantilli really minus 111? Oh. See their lines here. Still on that first line, Voronkov and Marchenko. He hit 1 out of 2 versus them. He's got a point in 8 of his last 10, playing well. Igor's been decent, 2.8 goals against. So it looks like Quick is dragging this number down a little bit, but we also know Columbus can score. Okay, so I got to write down Fantilli for a point. That looks solid. Cool. If there's anything else you like in Columbus at New York, pop that in the chat. We'll share them on the screen. So Fantilli point is minus 111 on FanDuel. Minus 120 on MGM if you don't have FanDuel. Still very playable. Okay. On Thursday's show, Kent Johnson. Gretzky Betsky's was on Kent Johnson. I think he particularly liked it because it was San Jose, but decent history. Not decent history. Decent last 5, last 6. Actually, his head-to-head's not good, I should say. But that's an interesting one. And now, in terms of shots, is this someone who's making a run for the Norris hit in 57% of games versus the Rangers. He's hit in 7 of his last 10. And the Rangers do allow a reasonable amount of shots. Only 18th most to defensemen, though. So that's an interesting one. Now look at this. Werenski averaging 4.93 shots per game over his last 30 days. That's insane. Very, very hot indeed. 20 points, 13 games. It's very impressive. I don't know if I love the 3.5 though. Maybe. I think Fantilli is definitely jumping out at me. Trocheck has hit 58% versus the Blue Jackets, 70% in his last 10. And he is significantly better on the road. So for what it's worth, they're at home. It's an interesting one. Is there anybody else people are liking in this one? Good. I'm going to guess no. Okay. Let's take a quick look at the goalie stuff. It's fun. Trocheck save line is at 0.5. Tarasov, 25.5. They're only giving up. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Anybody play Tarasov? All over the place. This is one game versus the Rangers just 2 years ago. Definitely hit this. Yeah, I don't know. This is a weird one. Now, Igor, 24.5. Yeah, I think that's an efficient number. Not jumping out at me as anything that I particularly want to play. Let's see, anything else in the chat for this one? If you are a new viewer, if you have plays, questions, comments, pop them in the chat. We try to get to everybody. Keep this as interactive as possible, especially since I'm rolling solo today on this one. Werenski on the road is different, though. Okay, we didn't look at that. Let me scoot back real quick. So this is a road game for them. Now, if we look at Werenski away, oh, he's actually much worse. Okay, so I was leaning towards this being a no anyway, but yeah, you're right. Okay, so that's a definite stay away from me. Still a great player. He could easily go off, but yeah, I'm gonna stay away. Okay, cool. Let's keep it moving. Washington taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Ovi versus Sid. Capitals, the 11th most goals for over the last 30 days. Pittsburgh's giving up the second most goals against. Jari has been sent down to the minors, not playing up to snuff. Now the Capitals not giving up a lot of goals, and Kevin's already got a play circled in this one. I like it. Neither of these teams shooting a ton. Both it's hovering around 25, which is bottom of the league, bottom 6. Pittsburgh is not giving up a ton of shots, which is an improvement for them. Only 25.9 per game. Washington giving up the 9th most. Washington is a good matchup for wingers. So we'll take a look at the Pittsburgh wingers. And Pittsburgh Penguins are a good matchup for centers and defensemen. So we got 2 plays in the chat that people are checking out. So let's take a look. And in terms of goaltenders, real quick, who do we got? Logan Thompson, and I'm Logan Thompson for the Capitals. Definitely a much better goalie, playing very, very well. And I believe, oh, pardon me, I had to sneeze. Oh, no information on the Pittsburgh side. Blum listed though. So I believe, yeah, they played yesterday and it was Nedeljkovic, right? Crazy game. Goal, assists, 40 saves, something like that. All right, let's look at some player props. So the first one I see is Ovechkin. So let's take a look. Alex Ovechkin. Okay, this is from Reyes, Texas. Ovi shots. Now, good history. Absolutely good history. 67%, including hitting in 6 of his last 7, going back to 2022. Did they bump him up? Is he usually he's always been 3.5? Reyes also saying he is better at home. So away, he is hitting at a 46% clip on the season, 50% at home, definitely a little bit better at home. Coming off 5 misses, which he hasn't really done yet. That's an interesting one. Chasing the record for sure. He's 21 away. That's a fun one. I don't know if I would be playing this one, but he loves playing Pittsburgh. That's for sure. Pittsburgh, I mean, his recent numbers concern me a little bit, but also Pittsburgh not allowing a ton of shots and particularly good against wingers. He's looking at 2.5. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay. Yep, makes sense. Now, we also said Chychrun. Let's take a look at Jacob Chychrun. He's hit in his last 2, but that's 2 of 5. Over his last 10, 70% hit rate. He's averaging 7.1 shots. Absolutely see that. That is beautiful. Yeah, minutes 21.5 per game. I believe he's on the first power play. I mean, I think if you like it, either way, he's going to be a good play. Him or Carlson? No, he's on the set. Oh no, yes, he is. They play it real weird. But yeah, so Chychrun on the power play as well. Power play 1. He's on the second defensive unit. Yeah, the attempts are awesome. Like we said, Pittsburgh's not going to get a ton of shots, but they are giving them up to defensemen, which I don't think is new. And home versus away. Is there any difference here? Pretty close. Slightly better at the road, but that's all right. I'm going to write this one down for sure. Oh, okay. Yeah, take a quick look at some current action here. Chychrun over 2.5 plus 100. That is at DraftKings, Fanatics, FanDuel, MGM. So wherever you want to play it, you'll have options. Reyes saying Pasta Day versus Ottawa. Let me take a look. See what's happening here. All right, so we are at the end of the first period, 2-2. Pastrnak with a goal and an assist. Ooh, Levi, you've been playing so well. What happened, my friend? Pasta with 3 shots in the first. Very nice. Jake Sanderson with 3. Instead of that, Shane Pinto with 4. Bet on himself for sure. Nice. Okay, that's a fun game. It's a fun game. Okay, very nice. A little sidetrack. Let's go back here. Anything else in this Pittsburgh at Washington game? Yeah, is there any Washington point props that we like? I feel like that could be a very good target. Sanderson plus 145. Well done, Kevin. It's nice to get some early cashes out of the way. Now, for points on the Washington side, let's see if anybody kind of stands out here. Wilson has a decent history against Pittsburgh. That's kind of interesting. 70% hit rate. Okay. Minus 128. His recent performance has been just mediocre. Dubois, did a nice little run. Okay, it's cooled off a little bit. Chikrin point plus 112. I think, it might just be Chikrin shots for me in this one. We got Logan Thompson, 24.5. It's an interesting one. I don't know how I feel about that one. Anybody have any thoughts on Logan Thompson? Pittsburgh's just not shooting. That's the problem. You know what? Let's see here. Let's pull this up real quick. That was Pittsburgh on the road. Yeah, honestly, for this one. Oh, okay, Kevin. Now I know who you are. Very nice. Appreciate you changing that. That's great. I'm actually leaving the under if I was going to play it. That's this in this case. I think I might be leaning the under. I want to see how are the Pens worse on the road. That's my question. So they are 25.9 shots for overall. Are they any worse on the road? Yeah, they are worse on the road. 22.7. Okay. And what about the Capitals? Are the Capitals any better defensively at home? Let's see that. Yeah, absolutely, they're worse. Okay. Bear with me a moment here. Oh, whoops, I need home for this one. Washington is slightly better at home as well. Only 27.3 as opposed to 29.2 overall. Okay, I'm going to write that one down as well. Don't know. And again, like I said, I'm writing a bunch of these down. I'm going to go through and shrink this list down a little bit for sure. And then do we have any? Yeah, I didn't have anything in Dallas, Colorado, so until 6 p.m. Okay, cool. So I'm going to write down Thompson over 20 or under 24.5 saves. That's minus 120. And that is best price is MGM for those. Okay. MGM seems to be the place for goalie unders, gotta say. Okay. Real quick, very quick pivot. I don't know if anybody here is into football, but very quick pivot before we go to our next game. We're about halfway through the slate, so we'll pick it up a little bit. I am in a contest where you pick a lineup each week, and once you use a player, you can't use them again. So ideally, you want to pick players that are eliminated or will be potentially eliminated, but also put up points. And you want to make sure you leave yourself some players as you get a little bit deeper into the playoffs. So currently, I am in second place, 6 points behind first. My lineup last week was Jaden Daniels at QB. I thought they were going to lose. Ladd McConkey, Nico Collins, and Puckin at wide receiver. Puka dropped the ball. It's unfortunate. Running backs, Mixon and Irving. Ooh, they both did fine. Isaiah Likely, I thought was kind of a sneaky play with Nose Flowers. He didn't do terrible. I mean, 6.8 points for a tight end is not terrible. The LA kickers didn't do well, and the LA defense did just fine. All right, so that's how we got here. Here's my lineup. If anybody has any suggestions, pop them in the chat. We'll get back to hockey in just a minute. So real quick, I'll go through my picks, talk about why. We got Jared Goff as our quarterback. Now, I do expect the Lions to make it to the Super Bowl, or I think they have a reasonable shot. I shouldn't say expect. So with that being said, and the fact that I had already played Jaden Daniels, that leaves me with all the AFC quarterbacks and the Rams-Eagles quarterbacks for the next 2 rounds. So that's why I did that one. And I think the Lions are going to put up some points. So I think it makes sense. With that being said, I also added Jameson Williams. If they are going to be putting up points, I want to have a piece of where they are going to. And I think Jameson, solid playoff performer. And in terms of Philly Rams, I lean Philly. And I think a lot of people in my pool are thinking the Rams are going to win. So with that being said, I took Kyron Williams and I took Saquon Barkley. Took both running backs. I'm saving something for myself. I have no idea what's going to happen in Buffalo. Baltimore, no clue. So I'm going to play Derrick Henry. I want to get the points. I think it's going to be a cold game. I know he doesn't have a great history in Buffalo, but I think they're going to have to lean on him a little bit. Also saving everything else from those 2 teams. So both quarterbacks, all the wide receivers. I have Mark Andrews if they win. Terry McLaurin, like I said, I expect Washington to lose, so I wanted to get some more pieces. Same thing with Zach Ertz. Don't expect to move on, so those are my picks. And then I had the Kansas City defense because I think that's the most lopsided matchup, and the Detroit Kickers. So that's what I got. If you have any questions, let me know. We're going to get back to some hockey. All right. What do we got next? Oh, no. What's going on with my drop down? Son of a gun. 1 second. Ignore this. Hey, nailed it. Nailed it. Thanks, Kev. I appreciate that. That's a unique, I think that's a fun way to do it where, like, once you use a player, you can't use them again in the playoffs. Big fantasy football guy for sure. Unfortunately, we don't have DFS here in Ontario, so it's too bad, but it's a good way to how I can stay in it. So we'll see. Hopefully, I came second last year. I want to get a win. All right, we got this sheet fixed. Let's keep it moving. Up next, we've got the Calgary Flames at the Winnipeg Jets. I believe it's Eric Comrie in there. Hellebuck getting a little bit of a break. He has been unbelievable. Get rid of this as well. Okay. So in terms of recent stats, 13th most goals for the Winnipeg Jets. Calgary's not scoring. They're also not giving up a ton. And the Jets are giving up even fewer. This is an ugly game. Ugly game. Winnipeg goalie over for Reyes, Texas. Calgary is shooting 29.5 shots per game. It's pretty solid. 23rd most in terms of the Jets, but I imagine our goalie line is going to be pretty low. Outside of that, man, I don't think this is a great game for player props. If you disagree, let me know, please. Now, he said, oh, do we not know the goalie? I guess it doesn't matter. We're giving the same line. Hold on. It is Connery, right? Okay. It is Connery. Okay. Oh, and we do have a prop. Okay. We'll take a look at that one. Okay. Seems like most people not really liking the player prop side of things. Okay. So Reyes said he took the over for the saves. Over. Okay. So it's set at 24.5. Oh, this is they're allowing 26.4 against per game, and Flames are averaging 29.5. Okay, I don't mind that one. Don't know if I'm going to play that. I think that's a good number. It's a good number. Now we also had one other. Oh wait, and actually, hold on. I keep forgetting this. No, it's 24.5 across the board. Okay, fair enough. Like we said, sometimes you get different lines in different books, so one save can be very valuable. Now, the only thing we have listed as terms of potential player props was Cole Perfetti shots. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. It's hitting 3 of 5 versus the Flames. It's hitting 4 straight. Now, is he better on the road versus home? Slightly better at home, so that's a good look. And that's minus 138 on FanDuel, so that's not a bad one. But that being said, I think there's going to be some better spots. Let's keep it moving. I think if I missed anything, people would let me know in the chat, so we'll keep it moving here. San Jose Sharks taking on the New York Islanders. San Jose has given up the 11th most goals against and the 4th most shots against per game over the last 30 days. Oh, we did miss Reyes coming in real quick. Okay, we're going to go back. Nino Niederreiter's coming off a big game, right? Oh, that was two games ago. But he's been consistent for 2. That's only 3 attempts in a ton of these games. That's scary. That's scary. But yeah, he's hitting. That's a nice parlay piece for sure. Nice parlay piece. Okay, back to this one. San Jose giving up a ton of shots. The Islanders are shooting a ton, 5th most over the last 30 days. They're not necessarily scoring a ton, but it is a good matchup. And the Islanders giving up the 14th most shots. So everybody's kind of in play for shots, especially wingers on both sides. So let's jump into this. And in terms of goalies, do we have any information here? Georgiev likely. Hogberg confirmed. Hogberg, actually solid numbers. Okay. Let's see if we got anything in the chat. Nothing yet. So let's take a look. We said wingers, so we'll start with that. And actually, you know what? Let's take a quick look at some lines. We haven't done that. Not confirmed lines from practice. So this is just the last game, but this is what they ran. Just I think what they have been running. So in terms of if there's wingers we want to target, Toffoli, Eklund, Zetterlund, and then I think centers can be center's not a good target for the Islanders or for the Sharks. Kevin says hard pass on this game. Very fair. I think this is one of those games where San Jose is so bad defensively that I want to find something. I'm going to guess we might not be able to. Take that filter off. Eklund. Highlight him real quick. He's hitting 2 of 3 versus the Islanders. He missed late last season, looks like. He's on the road. He's like dead even. Doesn't matter for him. William Eklund. And 7 of 10 he's hit. Had 3 attempts last game. None got on net. And it is a good matchup for wingers. They're allowing a decent amount of shots. He only needs 2. I'm going to write this one down. We'll see. Eklund over 1.5 shots. That's minus 120 on FanDuel. So that's a decent price. Okay, Noah Dobson. Let's take a look at him. Oh, yeah, okay. I see what Kevin's talking about. Minus 175. Yeah, I think that's a wonderful parlay piece. Oh, what crazy volume this guy had. But yeah, you're not going to can't play that straight. But yeah, I think that's a solid parlay piece for sure. Is it centers? Yeah, let's check out some of the Islander. Islander players. Okay, Barzal. No, that's rough. Brock Nelson. No. Yeah, I want to find something. I don't think it's going to be here. Yeah. Okay. I think you guys are right. Not a ton here. Maybe just Eklund. Oh, we didn't check saves. Do we have any? We do. Georgiev 26.5. He can be pulled any game though. That's the problem. So I feel like you really would want to lean under if you could. Well, the over makes sense, but again, I don't love it because it's Georgiev. And then Hogberg, he slides at 23.5. It's an interesting one. I think that's a good line. Okay, we'll keep it moving. Nothing standing out. If anybody else has anything in the chat, seeing some new watchers here. If you're watching, you have questions, comments, plays you like, anything at all, drop it in the chat. I'm keeping this very interactive. We are about a little over halfway, I would say. We're on to our next game here. I wanted to find more on that one, just wasn't there. The Golden Knights at the Blackhawks. Blackhawks allowing the most goals against and the most shots against. Opposite story on the other side. Vegas allowing the fewest shots. They're also allowing the sixth fewest goals against. So not a good spot for Chicago props. Great spot for Golden Knights props. Anybody have any favorite props in this game? Let's take a look. No goalie information for this one, looks like. Yeah, no information whatsoever for goalies, which is unfortunate. That's all right. Let's keep it moving here. Okay, now great spot for Vegas props, like we were saying. So we'll take a quick look at their lines. Barbashev, Eichel, Stone, Olsen, Hurdle, Dorofeyev, and Carlson in that third line spot. Hannafin, Petrangelo, what a good decor they have. McNabb, Theodore, Hag, Whitecloud, and Theodore, Dorofeyev, Hurdle on the first power play unit. So that's an interesting one. No San Jose power play wise. They are giving up, or San Jose. Chicago's giving up the 8th most power plays against. Vegas not drawing a ton, so maybe not counting on a ton there. Let's see here. Dorofeyev hit in both games versus Chicago. He's hit in 6 of his last 10. Decent attempts. Want it to be a little higher, but minus 114, not bad. Okay. Bedard point for a parlay piece. In. Yep, makes sense. It's on fire. On fire. We got Eichel at 3.5. Okay, so I'm not going to like that one. Volume's just not there. Eichel's minus 145 for an assist. It's too much. This might be another one where I don't think. Yeah, he should be. Georgiev. Love it. Shoot. There's not seeing much. anything we can do with points here. So Dorofeyev shots is interesting. Outside of that, Olofsson for a point. Huh. Yeah. Anybody? Petrangelo. Okay, one other thing here. Yeah, I kind of wanted to find more here. Really did. Petrangelo's birthday, says Kevin. Minus 154 for 2 shots. He's hitting 3 of his last 6 versus the Blackhawks. Blackhawks are a good target for everything. I might just write down Dorofeyev. I don't even know if that's a. Oh, and Kevin saying on the road is a must play. Let's see. Yeah, 72. You're right. You're right. Okay. Okay. Actually, how about this one? Okay, I'm gonna write down Dorofeyev. And I don't even know if that's gonna make the card, but I just feel like you have to have something against Chicago. Maybe that's a bad mindset. Minus 4 was that FanDuel. Okay. Seth Jones is a nice head-to-head. Says Reyes. Take a quick look at that one, and then we'll move on. See, minus 146, 7 of 9 versus Vegas. Yeah, could be a good parlay piece. Vegas, this just scares me though. Fewest shots to defensemen and fewest shots overall. And we get Carlson at plus 125 for a point. Is that for a point or a shots give? For a point. That's what we're looking at there. And for shots, that's what we're looking at there. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. It's a great spot for Golden Knights. So if you have a feeling about any Golden Knights, yeah, just play them. Just play them. We got 4 games left. Okay, we're making good time. Next up, we've got the Wild at the Predators. The Wild are giving up the most shots against. Predators 8th most shots for as of late. Both these teams allowed a ton of shots to centers, and Minnesota allowing a ton of shots to defensemen. All right, let's take a look here. Yeah, I think there's going to be some spots. Here. Okay. Yep. So first thing we said, Oldie at plus money. Oldie at plus money. He's plus 122. It's 7 of 10 versus Predators, I should say, and 8 of his last 10. 7.9 shot attempts. He's coming off a 15 attempt game. And home versus away. Pretty close. This is an interesting one. Nashville, not good. Not a good matchup to wingers, but plus money, and he's shooting a ton. That's a tough one. I think it's a good look. The matchup definitely scared me. All right, we'll write it down. Boldy plus 122. That's like FanDuel. All right. What else we got here? Marchessault. Reyes was saying Marchessault, also looking nice. You might have to use it as a parlay piece. Minus 146. It's hit 73% of his matchups. So nearly 6 attempts, which is nice. Slightly better at home, which is where he is. Roman Yossi. What happened? He used to be so good, remember? He used to be so good. Okay. Noted. Yeah, okay, so probably not loving Yossi here. Okay. Yeah, I think Boldy's really gonna be one of the only ones you'd want to play here. Is there nothing on that? Marcia, so good parlay piece, as noted. Uh, Wild point props could be in play as well. Yossi point. There we go. Yossi point. Yeah, much better there for sure. Yeah, Marcia, so for a point. There we go. Kev says Ryan, great history versus the Wild, and he is correct. 17 matchups. Excuse me. Points in 12 of 17. 71%. His points minus 125. Look at his last 10. Yeah, not bad, not bad. He's much better at home, it looks like, on the year. That's an interesting one, absolutely. I agree. That's a great parlay piece. Mark so shot. Any other wild that are playing? Nobody really standing out to me. The wild side, Forsberg. Okay, so we know that's going to be shots. Yep, yep. I see that plus 100 for sure. Wild gave up a ton of shots. Makes sense. Yeah, I can see that too. Do we have any? We do know the goalies. Okay, sweet. 23.5 for Saros. That's a good number. I don't know. I think that number makes sense for Saros in terms of Flurry. Ooh. 25.5. Interesting. I feel like there's some value on Flurry, and then I don't have to pick which predator is going to go over. I'm going to write Flurry down too. What do you guys think about Flurry over 25.5? Minus 130. That's at FanDuel. It's 26.5 at every other book. A much better price. I feel like the under played anywhere but FanDuel, but I think Fleury over 25.5 is interesting. Giving up 33.4 per game. Nashville shooting. Okay. We got only a few games left. 3 left. Okay. St. Louis is at Utah. St. Louis, second most goals, 4 per game. Utah, third most goals against. St. Louis, fourth most shots for. Utah, seventh most shots against. Also want to give a shout out to the Clean Hits podcast with Gretzky Betskis. They dropped at Clean Hits Hockey on Twitter/X. They dropped their interview with Jack McBain today. So check it out if you're interested in hearing from an NHL player. Very, very cool. Reyes saying Kyrou shots. Okay. I can see that. Yeah. I think St. Louis, everything is in play. Utah, if anybody really stands out, you can play them. Not a crazy bad matchup, but it's not great. Okay, so we're going to start. And we do have goalie lines as well for both. So it'll be Binnington and Ingram. But we'll start with shots. Jordan Kyrou over 2.5 at minus 125. He's over in 7 of 10. Great head-to-head. And granted, most of these games were Arizona, but nonetheless, same squad. And home versus away, I think he's an interesting one, right? 77% at home, 54% away. So it is a big difference, but it's a fair price. It's a good matchup. And he's got a good history, actually, too. So he's still hitting 54% and 83% in the head-to-head he hits on the road. This is a new spot, though. That's an interesting one. I'll write that one down for sure. It's a good look. Kyrou over 2.5, minus 125. That's at DraftKings and Fanatics. Okay, cool. Anybody else liking anything? Blues. Schnavich, that's a racy one. He's getting good attempts for 1.5. Got it though. Holloway bumped up to 2.5. Was never hit versus this team. Rob Thomas. No, probably not. Justin Falk. Nice little run for Falk. Temps are climbing up. He has a great history versus them, too. Against defenseman. 13th. Okay. Falk's an interesting one. I don't know. Forcing that one. Falk over 1.5 minus 110. That's a DK or MGM. And points. I think St. Louis points are going to be in play here. Hold on. Okay, so this is interesting. Buchnevich points in 9 of his last 10 away games. Utah's given up the third most goals against. I'm going to refresh myself with these lines here. So he's first line and first power play unit. Okay. That's interesting. Take a screenshot of that real quick. Terrible content. I'm just sharing this in a Discord. Please forgive me. That's an interesting one. Buchnevich on the road. That's an interesting one. So I'm going to write this one down. Like we said, Utah giving up a ton of goals. In terms of goalies, it's Ingram. So we don't have stats on him right now. Firefighter Bets, what's going on, brother? Fire. One of our co-hosts, he was gone on a trip last week, but we do expect him back. How's it going, buddy? Oh, he's on Booch Point as well? Okay, awesome. We got to write that down. What unbelievable away splits. So minus 110. And that is MGM. Okay. Any other Blues points we're liking? Let's see. Oh, Holloway, interesting. Yeah, I think Booch is the play here. Good price. If anybody else has anything in this game, let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna get ready to move on. We've got 2 games left. Let's finish with Edmonton. I feel like that'll be a fun one to end with. We're gonna move on to the Kings at the Kraken. Kings allowing the fewest goals against Seattle, 9th most goals for. So that's interesting. Seattle's also allowing the 4th most goals against. 11th most shots against for the Kraken. Kings playing unbelievably on defense. 25.4 shots against per game. Not allowing up goals. Terrible matchup for centers. It's a good matchup for the wingers on the Kings side. So take a look at that. And points for the Kings side as well. I don't know if we want to play anything on the Kraken side. We'll see. If you have any plays that you like, drop them in the chat. We will get to them. I think this is one that Ray was on, will be on. I don't know. I might be spoiling the secret. Kevin Fiala, 2.5 shots. Like we just said, tremendous matchup for wingers. He's not had fewer than 5 attempts in any game. Is he home versus the road? He's actually better on the road as well by a fair margin. Okay. Kevin saying Byfield. Okay. Now, Fiala. Sorry, just before we move on here. Yeah, but Seattle used to be good. That's the thing. They used to be very good at suppressing shots, and they're not so much anymore. Okay, I'm going to write down Fiala just before I forget. Oh, and let's take a quick look at the lines. That's always worth doing. There you go. Fiala. Third line, but this is a team that rolls 3 lines pretty consistently. Like he's at 19.5 minutes per game. So there you go. Okay. So Fiala. Yeah, we're going to write that one down. Over 2.5. Best price is FanDuel or DraftKings. Minus 120. It's a good price now. Kevin also says Byfield. Let's check out Byfield. Second line center for Byfield. Got 1.5. Okay. Yep. That's it. That's a nice parlay piece. Absolutely. Nice parlay piece for sure. in terms of Kempe, another winger on Kings. He's got the attempts. He's not hitting the net. I think I'd probably prefer to trust Fiala here. Kings for points. Let's see if there's anybody here that we like. Yeah, Kempe's minus 174 for a reason. Kopitar's slowed down a little bit. He had a tremendous run. Yeah, a bit of a cold streak for him. That's all right. Fiala for a point. Sparse shots probably look a little bit better. Byfield for a point. Yeah, nobody really standing out. Okay. I think the play is Fiala over 2.5 for a straight play at least. Outside of that, is there anything people want me to take a look at here? And one player I want to check here. The run is over. The run is over for Lacombe. Tony says so much good info. Probably shouldn't be drinking and smoking using this. Well, I'm glad you like the info. And yeah, sounds like you had a pretty good Saturday. Thanks for joining us, Tony. Appreciate you. We're down to one game left, and then we can do a quick recap of plays that I wrote down. If there's any plays that you love that did not make my short list, we'll give you all the opportunity to post those in the chat as well. So our last game on tonight's mega slate, the Oilers taking on the Canucks in a Western Canadian battle. Oilers' fourth most goals for over the last 30 days, 3.45 per game. Canucks giving up the seventh most against. Oilers, most shots for. Canucks, the fewest shots against. The fewest shots for the Vancouver Canucks side of things. They also aren't allowing a ton of shots. 24 per game. That's 30th, third best or worst, depending on how you're looking at it. They don't allow a ton. And Edmonton allowing the 20th most shots for. So not necessarily a shot target on the Edmonton side, but points for sure. Ray is saying he knew Mac would shoot today. Let's do a quick check-in on the games. We got a couple games underway here. 3-3 in Ottawa. Sanderson snipes one. Morgan Geeky picks up another point. It's 2 points for him, 2 points for Zaka, 3 points for Pasternak. Very nice. Brady on the board. He's got 2. Okay, we're looking good. Played that one. Shout out Walla Betts. Sanderson with 7 shots today. Holy. And 4 for Pasternak. Very nice. Now, Ray is just talking about McKinnon. Let's take a look, see what my guy's doing. Duchesne staying hot, power play goal. Johnston and Robertson. McKinnon, 3 shots in the first period. Very nice. Casey DeSmith, 13 saves already. Wow. Yeah, kind of spread out there. Only 7 shots against for Wedgwood. Very nice. Okay. So point props on the Oilers side. We'll look at some Vancouver shots if you wanted to, especially wingers. I don't know if any wingers are shooting. We'll take a look. If you like anything in Edmonton versus Vancouver, drop those plays in the chat. Oh, okay. We got Reyes and Kevin Shout out both of you guys, active throughout the entire stream. Appreciate you. And they're both active in the Wager Workshop Discord. If you are into diving into the data like this, it's a good community of folks who like to do this kind of stuff and talk about it and find plays together. So if you're interested in that, head over to shotprops.com. You can get the invite link. It's a free Discord to kind of chat hockey and dive into numbers. We don't always we do normally 2 shows a week for Puckin Around, so we're not here all the time. So this is just a place to keep that conversation going. And speaking of Puckin Around, look who's here. We got Tyson Cole, aka Spittin' Picklets. He's our Vancouver expert, and his timing is terrific. We are wrapping up our last game, Edmonton at Vancouver. So we are going to look at Edmonton points. I think we want to potentially look at. We can look at some Vancouver shots sides of things. And we're also going to take a look at the lines. Oh, you guys can't believe him. Come on now. He had an invite. It must have gotten lost in the mail. Okay, so first things first, Kev is saying big change on the Edmonton side of things. Looks like they're pairing Connor and Leon today. This is not official practice lines, but this is what they ran last game. So for what that's worth. No reason I think it's not going to change. Or it is going to change, I should say. No reason I think it will change. So yeah, just a quick reminder for everybody using Daily Faceoff. The source can matter. Ideally, you want to see one of the beat reporters' names here, or the team itself, and they will usually link to the tweet of the lines that were being run in practice. We don't have that, so we're going based off last game, but we'll assume Leon is there for our research purposes. Now, looks like Kevin and Reyes both taking Evan Bouchard. So we'll take a quick look at that. And then Spittin' as our resident Vancouver Canucks expert. Let us know if there's anything you are really liking on the Vancouver side. We'll be sure to check that out. Okay, so shots. People are liking Evan Bouchard. Yeah, that's quite a chart. Decent head-to-head history, especially recently. What is that? Looks like 7 of his last 9 or 10. Spittin'. Ooh, not confident in the Canucks tonight. Bouchard, Canucks are they're just a tough team to take shots for, shot props against, but it's tough to argue with these numbers, especially some of the recent attempts, 12, 15, 8, 11, 7. Those are head-to-head. 7 or more across the board over his last 7 games, 1 game where he didn't have it. So I don't hate that one at all. I'm going to write this one down. This is one where, because I don't like the matchup, but I do like the player, I'll probably wait. If we're on track to have a good night, this is one that might get added. That's kind of how I do it, especially for these late games. So Bouchard over 2.5 shots. Minus 110. That price is everywhere pretty much. DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM. Oh, okay. And we got some important news from Spittin'. This is big news, actually. A lot of activity around the Canucks today. Apparently working on a JT Miller trade. Would not be surprised if he's ruled out. Even if a trade is not going to happen, if the talks are serious, we've seen players being held out just so they don't get injured. So very, very interesting. That could be a big one. And he's coming off a terrible game, right? He got benched or had much fewer minutes than he normally does. So it's tough sledding for JT right now. That's for sure. What about Quinn Hughes? Yeah. Okay. Never mind. points wise. Tyson knows where I'm going with this. All right. Yeah, sucked. Yeah. That's. I think Tocchet said nothing's going right for him. It's unfortunate. Anybody playing Leon or Connor for 2 points? What is everybody thinking? 3.4 goals against per game. That's 7th worst in the league over the last 30 days. 9th most power play opportunities against, though the PK is pretty solid. So power play point could be interesting too. It looks like they are. It looks like they are. So Tyson says parlay the 2. Oh man, you know what? I want to see what that number is going to be. Let me pull that up quick. So if I were to parlay, so I'm on DraftKings here. Let me see what number I get. So Leon and Connor, they can't be parlayed on DraftKings. Okay, great. Well, here we go. Plus 170. That might be the way to do it. Also, power play point, I think, could be interesting. I know that the PK has been good, but it's also the PK for Vancouver has been good. The power play for Edmonton has also been very good. Tyson could maybe talk us out of this one. Again, he would know, but anybody have a good number? Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Tyson says he likes the over at 5.5. Overs have hit in 4 of the last 5 head-to-head. Reyes saying Leon shots. Yeah. Very good history. 61%, but I mean, what is this? 10 of the last 11 or 12? Pretty good. Yeah. Penalty kill is good. You're right. I talked myself out of that one, I think. So Leon's plus 130 for a goal. He hasn't scored in 4. That's the first time this season he hasn't scored in 4. He has goals in 61% of his games versus Vancouver. We didn't look at goalies here, I don't think. My apologies. We're looking for goalies. Thatcher Demko has kind of struggled. Okay. Now, something that was interesting. Oh, he's come down to earth a little bit. Leon currently at, you can see that, 21.7% shooting percentage. So 1 out of every 5 shots going in. He's regressed a little bit because he hasn't scored. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to write down Leon goal as a fun one. It's not as juiced as the shots, and they don't give up a ton of shots, but I definitely think he can find the back of the net. So I'm going to say Leon, anytime goal scorer. What was that number? Plus 130. I think that's a good number for Leon. Now, we got a couple plays in the chat that people want to look at. First up, Quinn Hughes plus money for his shots. Yeah, plus even money. Now, a tremendous matchup for Quinn, but at plus money, captain, I can see it. And Tyson saying Petey over 1.5. Pretty good. Minus 140 is a little juicy. Head to head, he's hit this in 16 of 19. 6 of his last 10. He is much better at home where he's playing. So, like you said, it's a little juicy, but you can get that down. Like you could, if you really like the play, I think I would go rather than parlay it. It's pricey though. And this one, what is his line at? It was line at 25 and that's an interesting one. Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. So, Pedersen. He says head-to-head at home is 100% hit rate. Okay, I see what you're seeing now for sure. I'm going to write that one down as well. Pedersen over 1.5. If you don't like the minus 140, you can use it as a parlay piece. Look at the numbers. There you go. DraftKings. Okay. I think that's about everything. We went through a lot of games. Shout out to everybody who was here. If you have any final questions, comments, anything else for this game, let me know. I'll do a quick recap of the plays here. So we had, I don't have a good way to show these, unfortunately. Forsling over 2.5 shots, plus 106. I got to get these on screen for you. This is silly. I'm not going to read this. What am I doing? Okay. I'm playing the majority of these straight, Tony. I can tell you, we did have somebody suggest a parlay much earlier in the show, which I wrote down, that I said would be the one for the show. So that was Austin Matthews for 4 shots and William Nylander and Cole Caulfield for 3 each. So that would be a parlay. And then outside of that, I'm gonna be playing most of these straight, but that's a good question. If anybody has any great parlay pieces they really like, because that's not something that we really focused a ton on, feel free to pop those in the chat for Tony as well. I'm just going to figure out how to. Okay, I'm going to stop this real quick. I'm going to share this one. And if you're wondering, does he really just write it down in Notepad? Yes. Yes, I do. It works. So unfortunately, it's not a fancy graphic, but here we go. Here's the plays that I wrote down for today based on our research and all of your help. Forsling over 2.5 shots, plus 106. Spencer Knight over 20.5 saves, minus 130. Nick Suzuki assists, plus 105. MGM. Joseph Wall over 21.5 saves, minus 130. And if you missed this note earlier, I will say these are not necessarily everything that I'm playing. This is my short list, and then I'm going to try and whittle this down a little bit. If I do end up playing a good chunk of these, I will probably lower my unit size just for tonight because this is a big list. But there was some good stuff. We had Patty Kane for a point at minus 120. Braden Point over 2.5 shots, plus 108 on FanDuel. Brandon Hagel over 2.5 shots, minus 125. Andre Vasilevsky over 21.5 saves on MGM, minus 130. Fantilli Point, minus 111. I don't understand that price. Jacob Chikrin over 2.5 shots, plus 100. Logan Thompson under 24.5 saves. It's at minus 120. William Eklund over 1.5 shots on FanDuel. Dorofaya over 2.5 shots. That's minus 114. We have Matt Boldy at plus 122 for 3.5 shots or more. Marc-Andre Fleury over 25.5 saves, minus 130. Jordan Kyrou over 2.5 shots. That's at minus 125. Justin Bulk over 1.5 shots. That's at minus 110. Puckin point. That's at minus 110 on MGM. That's probably my favorite one on the St. Louis side. Kevin Fiala over 2.5 shots. That's at minus 120. Evan Bouchard over 2.5 shots at minus 110. Tough matchup, but he is firing. Leon, anytime goal scorer, plus 130. And Pedersen over 1.5 shots on DK. That is the full shortlist that I wrote down. If you have anything that you want to share with the group, feel free to pop it in the chat. We're going to wrap this up in probably 2 or 3 minutes. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. We will have shows with some combination of myself, Spit and Picklets, and Firefighter Bets on Tuesday and Thursday to go over some of those slates. Outside of that, definitely appreciate y'all watching. More data at shotprops.com if you're still researching or doing some research for tomorrow. And at shotprops on Twitter/X for some of my work as well. Not seeing much in terms of comments. I think people were pretty active throughout the show, sharing their plays. So I think we've got a lot of them covered. Outside of that, check out the Wager Workshop Discord. More information at shotprops.com for that. Free place to continue conversations like the one we're having today. That's probably about it. Big shout out to everybody who joined us today. Thank you for being active in chat. Please like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff does help us out. And finally, best of luck tonight. Let's make some money, y'all. We will see you soon. Enjoy your hockey, enjoy your football, and we will see you on Tuesday.